Hello, everyone, and welcome to the first episode of a brand new series on this channel called Sonic What If? In this series, we'll be taking deep dives into alternate universes of Sonic's lore to basically decipher how would things work if events in the series had played out differently. And for the first episode, I thought I'd tackle one of my first ideas that I ever had for this series. I actually put it up to a poll on my community tab a while back, asking people what they'd want to see for the first episode of this. And this one seemingly won. I honestly have no idea how this one of all ones won, but still, we'll do it. And don't worry, I do have plans to tackle my other ones, so let's just dive into this right now. So, what if Sonic was the second ultimate life form? Now, there is a line. This what if stems from a line that Shadow says to Sonic in SA2. In the final battle, he says something along the lines of, "I might not be the true ultimate life form. It might be you, Sonic," or something like that. So I kind of took that literally, and I thought, okay, what if Sonic actually was an ultimate life form? So, how would this event play out? First, we need to talk about how could this even happen. I believe that 50 years ago, it is possible that Gerald Robotnik may have looked at the Shadow the Hedgehog project and been like, you know what? Shadow is made purely from the energy and DNA of Black Doom. That energy, when not counterbalanced by something positive, leads only to negativity, which leads to Shadow being a more dark and gritty character. So Gerald, maybe after the events of Shadow Generations, when he returns to his own time, he might implement ways of making the Shadow Project a more wholesome character. I believe that maybe he went down to the Earth and got the DNA of a hedgehog family that was living down on Mobius. So he took the DNA of the family and used it to create the second ultimate life form, using the power of chaos control given by Black Doom as well as the DNA. It basically created this second ultimate life form. Maria had the choice of naming it, and she thought to name it Sonic because his speed was that to break the sound barrier. It seemed that the family had some type of strange gene in their DNA that just made this creature much faster. You could even say it might have been Sonic's grandparents. Now, does this mean that the actual Sonic the Hedgehog just was never born in this timeline? That's up for you to decide. Anyway, so Sonic and Shadow lived together on the Ark alone with Maria and Gerald. Then, when the Ark raid happened, Shadow and Sonic both watched her go. When Maria was shot, it left both hedgehogs in a state of confusion. They didn't know what to do now. Shadow ended up being preserved and just captured by Gunn and trapped in their government facility. Sonic, on the other hand, Gunn probably didn't even know that Sonic existed yet. They were after Shadow. They had no idea that Sonic existed. So he sort of slipped under the radar and ended up living 50 years of his life on Earth, fighting to protect the world in Maria's honor. You could say that the events of Sonic 1, 2, 3 and Knuckles and CD probably play out as they usually do. The only difference now is that Sonic has Doom powers, or Chaos abilities, I guess. Like, he can use Shadow's Chaos Spear. He probably knows that he can use Chaos Control. And I want to assume that he has his own version of the Doom Blast. A pure blast of energy that's made from chaos energy. So, I'm going to assume that the events of the first couple Sonic games probably play out as they usually do. 1, 2, CD, 3 and Knuckles, Adventure, they play out as they usually do. SA2, on the other hand, plays out fairly differently. Sonic now remembers Shadow. But Shadow, because of his time in isolation, has completely forgotten about Sonic. But Sonic knows what Maria truly wanted. So it basically becomes a battle of ideologies. Shadow believed that the only way to deal with Maria's death was to kill all of humanity. But Sonic knew that she really wanted them to bring peace to humanity. In the final moments, Sonic and Shadow are both ended up on the same page when Shadow remembers that is indeed what Maria wanted. Maybe in this version, Shadow actually dies when they warp the space colony away, when he falls to the Earth. Maybe Shadow actually dies in this timeline. And Sonic is left as the only ultimate life form now. He basically uses his new powers to protect the world in honor of both Shadow and Maria. I'm going to assume that future events would probably play out differently. And as for Shadow's appearances, it's possible that Shadow could return as a Shadow android. Like, the Shadow we know from the games is replaced by an android version. Maybe in Sonic Generations, the real Shadow could even be resurrected as Sonic's classic counterpart. Because, Sonic doesn't age the same way he does in the games now. So maybe Shadow could be brought back in Generations as a classic Sonic. This what if is kind of more broad, but if you have any more ideas, I'll definitely make a part 2. I would be up to making however many of these people want. So, yeah. If you guys have any ideas for this what if, leave them in the comments below. And if you have any other what if ideas you want to see me tackle, leave them in the comments below. I think that's about enough for now, so until next time, this is Jacob the New Engine 159 signing off. Toot toot, Sonic Warriors. I just said that's how I'm going to end these. Anyway, toot toot, Sonic Warriors. Hello everyone, Thomas here. If you enjoyed this video and you want to see more like it, click the links on the screen. And don't forget to subscribe to Jacob's channel. It would mean a lot. Time to get going now. Goodbye.